and welcome to the 7th module, Next Generation Blockchain Technologies of this course, Blockchain for Finance Professionals. And here we will cover Skyledger, distributed blocks, billion group, etc. And in this session, we learn more about the next generation blockchain technologies.
So we are covered like 6 modules. We have seen what is how accounting system happens, what is distributed ledger technology. We went into cryptocurrencies. We have seen blockchain basics and intermediate advanced. We have seen blockchain implementation. We have seen packages on Ethereum, Hyperledger, and Bitcoin. We have seen how Bitcoin works, mining. In this module, we will be covering the next generation blockchain technologies. For my, as a personal thing, I kind of classify Bitcoin as a first generation blockchain technology. The second generation is Ethereum and Hyperledger. And now we have a lot of next generation blockchain technology where they're kind of getting away with the mining and they're more focusing on the enterprise level integrations and interfaces and a kind of ledger. So distributed ledger technology is changing in a great way. And in this, we will see some of the latest ones, even the next generation and Ethereum and all at a high level and understand some of them. And these will be very useful for developing any financial technology applications, for financial services. So some of technology trend that is going through is we will be looking at blockchain scalability and speed, because you have seen Bitcoin can do a transaction every 10 minutes. But the thing is, scalability is important and speed is also important. So hard forking is one of great thing. They are using, this is one platform which is using their own distributed decentralized algorithm to generate coins and later mining. Then you have private ledger smart contracts. Though the private ledger like Hyperledger will actually help to increase speed for smart contracts. Then SegWit is one which is a kind of a forking from Bitcoin. So that is kind of using this. That's basically doing the increase the size of the block. And there's one new technology called billion group. It's very very interesting. We should be checking with them. The kind of transparency, the kind of the speed, the kind of transaction that happens in this is very 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 good. So if you really took like the how they are doing the blockchain is actually getting scale and speed is because your first trend is hard forking. The second is more usage of private ledger. Then they are using tools like SegWit to increase the size of the block, and the last one is basically on the real time group like billion group. So these are some of the methods that their next generation technologies are trying to achieve. So there are other things like sharding is a very great example where you can actually split the blockchain transactions. So there is a example called Zilliqa. If you have time, you can go and see. This is like a very Turing process, as you say in the technology language. It actually splits the blockchain transaction to just increase the speed, and there is an algorithm that runs to split the transaction as per the requirement of the use case. Ethereum Plasma is a more streamlined verification process using Ethereum blockchain. So it uses a light networking process for transaction, and it actually updates the blockchain. The Plasma actually kind of updates the blockchain. And the last one, so Ethereum Plasma is picking up, and the last one is distributed blocks. This is based on the Skyledger. It's again a very unique algorithm, which runs on multi-parallel loops, and there's a it's like a sky, right? There's no limit. Like it's loaded on cloud. It has various interceptions, integration capabilities. So this is one good next generation technology platform. So we have other aspects apart from forking or SegWit or distributed ledger technology splitting. You have sharding, you have Ethereum Plasma, and you have distributed blocks, which is kind of a next generation technology trend. So if you really see that, there is a, I'm just trying to compare the next generation platforms: Zilliqa, Billion Group, SegWit, distributed blocks, Ethereum Plasma, ERC20 with Hyperledger, and SHA24 256 Litecoin Cash. So you can see the transaction speed is maximum in terms of Billion Group, and it's no mining is required. It's very highly scalable, and it's a private ledger. And you can see a security also, it's maximum 7. The second one is like SegWit, because it requires little high power, but then it's a hybrid model, but security is little less. And similar to what Billion Group is the ERC20 with Hyperledger. It is very cheap, cost effective, and it goes with very less power. And similarly, it scores high on security. The rest of the things like Zilliqa says distributed blocks, there again distributed blocks is like greater than 300 per second, so it's a great one. And power is like almost null. Scalability is available. It's a private ledger, and you have scoring on 7 on 10. So These are some of the ones. And the second level can be your Litecoin Cash and probably Zilliqa and Ethereum Plasma. The first level can be billion group distributed blocks and yes, and ERC20 Hyperledger. These can be the first choice, and the second choice can be the other three. And finally, you have a SegWit, basically dividing the blocks. That can be the third level. So I'm just trying to compare on the various parameters like transaction, cost per transaction, power, scalability, ledger type, and security, just to scale up how things work in the next generation platform. So this is Litecoin Cash. They use SHA-256 protocol, which we have seen in Bitcoin. They call it as initial fork offerings. We have seen initial coin offerings, right? Similarly, they are called as initial fork offerings, and they seek to exploit the existing blockchain in terms of transactions, so that the initial distribution of a new currency is faster. And the participants should not need to be aware of the IFO. They should be aware of the fork block, and claims can be made anytime retrospectively as the private keys are kept. Fairness is guaranteed, even it's a old network, but we can upgrade it to a newer network. And potential participants, they're not to be at the launch level, right? It is like they can actually buy the blocks. And so what happens is, so basically it's like a merger between old ledger and new ledger to diverge. So these are some of the Litecoin Cash is picking up, but it's just not very popular. It's just picking up now. And the other thing is like, distribution is limited. Then IFO basically it has unlimited breadth of initial coin distribution, other than like, with other approaches. And this is the traditional forms of ICOs or odd drafts will not be the natural choice, for cryptocurrencies launches in the future. But the main thing in this is like, it will be like initial currency distribution, which is very key. Second, it has alternatives. Third, it has more like, unparalleled depth of coin distribution. Finally, it has multiple advantages with fairness and distribution extent, and you don't have that ICOs or drops or fraud kind of stuff. So Litecoin Cash is picking up for some of the initial fork offerings rather than initial coin offerings. So the other one is distributed ledger technology. Is like based on Skycoin is good, and it is judged as the crypto project best in 2018. And coin issuance process seems to be simplified, and the DApps can be built or distributed block. But you want to understand that you don't have a similar to smart contract, but they have a business logic in terms of they're detailing it in the white paper, but we need to ask them. They do have a third party tie up. We need to check when you're launching an ICO at least, or a IFO. But the whole thing is like they have a end to end ecosystem. I'm trying to find out with them, but then they have not answered it. But this is a good launch pad for any crypto projects with decentralized apps. So it's an end-to-end blockchain plus cryptocurrency platform. That's what I can say. It's a base built on Skycoin blockchain. They have been adjudged as the best crypto project of 2018. Coin process like your tokens and coins is easy, and DApp can be built over distributed blocks. There's nothing called smart contract, but they have a business logic on that. And the whole system, they have an end-to-end ecosystem. So that's a feasible thing for distributed block technology. Waves platform, it is more of an exchange. It's like main thing is like coin listing is faster, and it has a blockchain technology with smart contract inbuilt in, but it's a 15 transaction per second, very less, and it's open source, less secure, mining complications, and all functionalities available. But again, this is a picking up platform, but it has its own issues, in terms of agreeing to the whole exchange. Just that it's more of an exchange. It's just not about a platform. ERC20 is a very traditional one. Basically, Sky blockchain is there is a conversion of ERC20 to distributed blocks. So we can swap the blockchains, and it's possible to have many tokens. So ERC20 to distributed blocks token is very well available. And Skycoin platform, the conversion is possible, but there is not mention of the technology. But overall, as a thing, they are checking that we can swap the blockchains, but we need to check with them on the technology swap option. Some of the questions I'm trying to answer, some of the answers is not there, but I just want to bring it up, so that everybody is aware of the newer technologies. how even ERC20 can be converted to distributed blocks. This is because this will be one of the critical question when we are doing a large ledger, especially with the ecosystem like trade finance and stuff like that. So the other question that keeps coming is like will ICO, as you saw, most of the coins are from ERC, that is Ethereum. As of now, there are still it is the most liked by most of the ICOs are on ERC20 because the main reason is crypto exchanges can list, stability is there, and it comes with the solidity smart contracts. But there are next best option, like for example Hyperledger smart contract, and you have the new blockchains like Neo blockchain, Stellar, Neo coins, and other stuff, which is all more of private blockchain. But yeah, it depends on the utility of the token and listing in the crypto exchange arrangements. So it may move away from ERC20 protocol or Ethereum protocol, but then it will take its time. But at least over some time, you need to understand about like how some of the reasons that they need to move to alternatives like to ERC20. But I've seen Stellar is picking up currently, but I'm not sure how far as it may be as scalable as Ethereum. So possible concerns, when you are migrating from ERC20 to distributed tokens, is like you need to look at the stability. And this is concern for everything, when you're converting from one platform to another platform, or when you are swapping. Scalability of the platform, you need to check. Listing, if it is it compatible to listing? Maybe it's a utility token or a security token. We need to understand. Smart contracts to investors, is it there or not? Is security taken care? How do they have the external cyber security tools implementation? So basically you need to identify the concerns, and then answer them, and then see whether you can migrate from one platform to another. I'm just giving an example here from ERC20 with distributed tokens, or distributed blocks. Some of the questions I've just listed should be answered these questions, and then go ahead with checking with the clients, and then answer this, and then move the projects. So that's all about it. So basically, I just try to cover the new generation platforms, and what are the comparisons, and how they are distributing, and some of the usages, and how they get swapped in this entire lecture.
So this is all about the next generation blockchain technologies. We will conclude this module here. See you in the next module, startups in fintech space, where we will know about the startup story, blockchain learnings, challenges, success story. Thank you.